The man remembered as the inventor of paper may not have invented it at all. Yet without Kai Lun, the written world might have developed very differently. Nearly 2,000 years ago, during China's Eastern Han Dynasty, knowledge was difficult to carry. Important records were often written on narrow strips of bamboo or wood, tied together with cord. A single book could become a heavy bundle. Silk was smoother and lighter, but it was far too costly for everyday use. Into this world came Kai Lun, a court official whose early life remains almost completely hidden. He was born in Guiyang Commandery, in what is now Hunan Province, and arrived at the imperial court in Luoyang during the 1st century CE. There, he rose through the palace administration and eventually supervised imperial workshops that produced tools, ceremonial objects, and equipment for the court. Kai Lun understood a quiet problem at the heart of the empire. Government depended on orders, reports, tax records, maps, and histories, but the materials used to preserve them were either heavy or expensive. The Han Empire needed something cheaper, lighter, and easier to produce. According to the official history of the Eastern Han, Kai Lun presented a new papermaking method to Emperor He in 105 CE. His workers gathered materials that others might have thrown away: tree bark, worn cloth, hemp waste, and old fishing nets. The fibers were soaked, softened, and beaten into pulp. That pulp was mixed with water, lifted on a fine screen, pressed into a thin layer, and dried. The result looked simple, a pale sheet made from tangled plant fibers, but that sheet could hold ink, fold easily, travel great distances, and be produced from low-cost materials. The emperor approved the method, and Kai Lun's paper began to gain attention across the empire. For centuries, this was told as the moment paper was born, but archaeology later complicated the story. Fragments of early paper have been found in China that date to the Western Han period, long before 105 CE. Some were made from hemp and may have been used for wrapping, padding, maps, or writing. Kai Lun did not create the first sheet from nothing. So why does history remember him? Because invention is not always one sudden flash of genius. Sometimes it is the moment an imperfect idea becomes useful enough to change society. Kai Lun improved the materials, organized the process, connected it to the imperial court, and helped make paper practical on a much larger scale. His name became linked to a technology that was already beginning, but had not yet transformed the world. In 114 CE, Kai Lun was rewarded with the title Marquis of Longting, yet his final years were shadowed by palace politics. In 121 CE, after the balance of power changed, he died while facing an imperial investigation. The man disappeared, but the method continued. Paper spread through China, supporting government, education, literature, art, religion, and trade. Over the centuries, papermaking traveled into Korea and Japan, across Central Asia, through the Islamic world, and eventually into Europe. Books became easier to copy, letters became easier to send. Ideas could survive rulers, wars, fires, and the passing of generations. Today, paper is so ordinary that we rarely notice it. It carries contracts, drawings, sacred texts, school lessons, family memories, and stories of people who would otherwise be forgotten. Kai Lun may not have been the first person to make paper, but he helped turn a fragile experiment into one of humanity's greatest tools. Perhaps that is the real mystery of invention. History often remembers one name, while the true breakthrough belongs to many unknown hands. Kai Lun's genius was not simply creating a sheet, it was helping the world understand what that sheet could become. If you enjoy stories like this, please follow for more hidden history and untold stories from around the world.